On this episode of China Uncensored, Chinese media warn about a dangerous American cult. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. What do democracy, terrorism, and cults have in common? They're all a part of America's insidious plot to undermine China. That's at least according to Chinese Communist Party mouthpiece, Seeking Truth, which is a totally normal and not at all creepy name for a political journal published by the Central Committee of the Communist Party and circulated to all high-level party officials. Seeking Truth recently featured an article on their website from an independent blogger called "Why the Democratic Movement is Also a Type of Cult," because nothing says loss of free will like voting for your representatives. Think about that next time you're at the polls. The Seeking Truth article says that America is behind the evil religion, behind the terrorist organizations, and behind the democracy movement. Under America's unified coaching, the cult members, terrorists, and democracy activists find their common goal and interests, and together serve the U.S. to fight against China. Damn, they figured us out! Just like that time when state media ran the story claiming that the U.S. is run by a shadow government of Nazi space aliens. I really wish I were making that one up. Well, if democracy is an evil cult, that means it's a job for China's Gestapo, the 610 office, otherwise known as the Central Leading Group on Dealing with Heretical Religions. I recently talked about them. They were originally created by former Chinese leader Jiang Zemin as his tool in the persecution of the Falun Gong spiritual movement, but gradually they began targeting broader segments of Chinese society, like Buddhist and Christian groups. Maybe now they can start targeting democracy activists. So why is the Chinese regime suddenly so fascinated with cults? At the end of May, a woman was beaten to death by a group of men in a McDonald's restaurant in Shandong province while witnesses looked on. State-run CCTV said the murderers were members of a Christian sect called the Church of Almighty God, and that it was somehow a faith-based killing. The Church of Almighty God is the evil religion that the Seeking Truth article claims is backed by the U.S. By the way, that article also claimed that activist Wang Dong, who is one of the 1989 Tiananmen student leaders living in exile in Taiwan, has colluded with the leader of the Church of Almighty God. I'm sure that's a true fact and has nothing to do with the large-scale commemoration of the Tiananmen Square massacre that was held in Taiwan just a week before the article was published. Not long after the McDonald's attack, CCTV and the Political and Legal Commission put out these 6 characteristics of evil cults, which include things like cults are highly exclusive and propagandize how great they are, cults are coercive and use mind control techniques on others, and cults thrive on an embedded network of personal relationships to protect their interest. What does that remind me of? Oh yes, that's right! Oh wait, no. Let's see. Restricts personal and spiritual freedom. I feel like it's just on the tip of my tongue. Okay, Chinese netizens, help me out here. We're stuck under the rule of a cult. The definition of a cult is exactly the same as the party. So after the characteristics of a cult were put out, Chinese netizens began commenting that a lot of the criteria sounded an awful lot like the Communist Party. As for the personality cult thing, well, there was Mao. This delightful image is a Photoshop picture of a classroom during the Cultural Revolution, when children were made to sing the praises of Mao, when they weren't worshipping his mangoes, that is. Check that episode out, it'll blow your mind. A blogger doctored the photo, so the sign in the back there says, "Mao Zedong is the Almighty God in our hearts," using the same characters for Almighty God as the group that killed that poor woman. That blogger was arrested. Murong Shuizun, a Chinese novelist and blogger, wrote, "I realize that the name of the biggest cult is hidden in plain view, the Communist Party. Clearly, all of these people are puppets of the United States. And I just want to say to some of my loyal commenters out there, you know who you are. I am just as sickened as you are by the bad name these people are trying to give to China. But hey, I didn't call the Communist Party a cult. They did. So you can blame the Chinese people for being anti-Chinese." Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Be sure to share and subscribe. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.